Ever catch yourself, like, obsessively refreshing your bank account? Just waiting for that one crucial payment to show up.
Oh, yeah.
It's stressful, right?
Totally.
Well, a lot of small and medium businesses, they deal with this kind of anxiety every single day, especially with cross-border stuff.
Oh, for sure. International payments, those can be a real headache.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving into today. There's this article about designing for payment predictability, specifically for these B2B cross-border transactions.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. We're going to try to figure out why this is such a big deal for SMBs and then what solutions are actually out there.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So the article, it starts with this story about a retailer in Lagos. They're importing goods from a supplier way over in Bangkok.
Okay.
And 1 month, just a little hiccup in the payment, it ended up being a tad short because of exchange rates and some bank delays.
I see.
And then it just created this cascade of problems.
Yeah.
Like the shipment was delayed, their customers, they started going unsquare, and then the supplier, their cash flow is all messed up.
Yeah, it's crazy how one little delay can have such a huge ripple effect.
Right. And the article really emphasizes that for SMBs, it's not just about making things, a little smoother. It's about providing them with that financial stability and that peace of mind to actually, grow.
Yeah, peace of mind is priceless, especially when you're running a business.
Exactly. The article boils it down to 3 main questions that SMBs really need answers to.
What are those?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Like, when can they expect the money to arrive? How much is it going to cost? All in. And then, what happens if there's a delay? Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, it makes sense. Those are the basics you'd want to know.
Right. But the article points out, if you've ever dealt with international payments, you know that getting those answers, it's not always so simple.
Yeah, definitely. Things can get pretty murky.
So the article dives into some design principles that could really make a difference for SMBs. One that really stuck out to me was the idea of estimated delivery dates for payments.
Estimated delivery dates, like when you order something online.
Exactly, just like you track a package.
Yeah.
The article argues that if you could get that same kind of estimated delivery window for payments, it would, help manage expectations. People wouldn't be as anxious.
I see. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Take away some of the mystery.
Right. Instead of wondering where their money is, they could see exactly where it is in the process and get a realistic idea of when it's going to show up.
More transparency.
Totally. And the article also stresses how important it is to be upfront about fees and exchange rates.
Oh, yeah. Gotta love those hidden fees.
I know, right?
Yeah.
They're saying no more surprises. Just tell them the total cost up front and what the person receiving the money will actually get.
Straightforward. Makes budgeting so much easier.
Absolutely. And then, of course, no matter how streamlined things get, delays are going to happen.
Yeah.
That's why they talk about the importance of contingency planning. It's not just about avoiding delays altogether. It's about, what you do when they pop up.
Yeah. Having a plan B is key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when there's a delay, the article says communication is everything.
I can see that.
Explain to the SMB, hey, this is why it's happening. Is this some regulatory thing, a bank issue, whatever, and just keep them in the loop.
Keep them updated.
Right. Turn a potentially frustrating experience into something manageable.
Yeah, when you know what's going on, it's a lot easier to deal with.
For sure. And this is where technology comes in, right?
Makes sense.
The article gets into some of the tech that's making predictable payments a reality, but it does it in a way that's not super jargony, which is nice.
Got to keep it accessible.
Exactly. So they highlight a few tools and APIs that are pretty game-changing.
Like what?
Like, for instance, real-time payment tracking APIs.
Okay, those sound cool.
Imagine being able to see your payment moving across a map.
Whoa, like a little dot traveling between countries.
Exactly. With real-time tracking APIs, platforms can give people those precise status updates we were talking about.
So no more guessing games.
Nope. They can see exactly where their money is 204/7.
That would definitely ease some anxiety.
Right. It's like having a GPS for your payments.
I like that analogy.
And then there's FX rate locking, which is super helpful for dealing with those, always fluctuating exchange rates.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So basically, you can lock in a specific exchange rate for your transaction.
Oh, I see.
That way, you know exactly what the cost is going to be, even if the market changes before the payment goes through.
That takes away a lot of uncertainty.
Big time. Especially for businesses working with tight margins.
Yeah, predictability is crucial for them.
Totally. Then we've got smart payment routing.
Smart route.
Think of it like a GPS finding the fastest route, but for payments.
Avoiding all the traffic jams.
Exactly. So instead of payments bouncing between banks and taking forever, these smart routing algorithms, They analyze all these factors like bank fees and processing times to find the most direct and cost-effective path.
Ah, so it's about efficiency.
Yep. Getting those payments where they need to go as quickly and cheaply as possible.
Smart.
And last but not least, they talk about using machine learning for delivery predictions.
Machine learning for payments.
Yeah. They're using data to make surprisingly accurate predictions about when payments will actually arrive.
How does that work?
These systems look at historical transaction data, like banking hours in different regions, holidays, typical processing times, and all that. And they use that to give really reliable delivery estimates.
It's like a crystal ball for your payments.
Exactly. So we can move away from all this uncertainty and into a world of predictability.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, and the article really drives home how crucial this shift is for SMBs. Having those reliable predictions means they can manage their cash flow way better.
For sure.
Avoid overdrafts. Make smarter financial decisions overall.
Give them more control. It's about giving them that power, you know, so they can focus on what they're good at, growing their business.
So we've talked about the why, the how, but what does this actually look like for SMBs, out in the real world?
Well, I think the most obvious impact is on cash flow management.
Okay, yeah.
No more last-minute scrambling to cover costs or those dreaded overdraft fees.
Yeah.
SMBs can finally plan for the future, invest in growth, be ready for those unexpected bumps in the road.
It's like having a solid foundation financially.
Yeah,
and it goes beyond just the numbers too, right? What about their relationships with suppliers?
Oh, absolutely. When payments are reliable, when they're on time, it builds a ton of trust.
Makes sense.
Suppliers are way more likely to offer better terms, discounts, things like that. They're willing to go the extra mile when they know they can count on you.
So it's more of a partnership then.
Exactly. A win-win for everyone involved.
And with less stress around payments, SMBs can really focus on what matters. Right?
Totally. Innovation. Expanding their business. Creating value.
The article also talks about how predictable payments can help level the playing field.
How so?
Well, smaller businesses, they've often been at a disadvantage.
Yeah, especially when you compare them to those big companies with tons of resources.
Right. But predictable payments, they can give SMBs a real fighting chance.
I like that. Everyone gets a fair shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, from your perspective, what parts of this really stand out to you? What feels the most impactful?
I think for me, it's the potential to really unlock growth and innovation.
Okay.
When SMBs aren't constantly worried about their cash flow, they can take more risks, try new things, really contribute to the economy in a bigger way.
It's like unleashing all this entrepreneurial energy, right?
Exactly.
And this isn't just about SMBs, right? Predictable payments, it could change the whole financial system.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This could have ripple effects everywhere.
So where do you see all of this heading? What's the future of payments? Not just for businesses, but for everyone.
That's a good question. I think as technology keeps getting better, we'll see payments become more personalized, more intuitive.
Personalized payments. What does that even look like?
Imagine a world where your payment preferences are just built in. The system already knows your favorite methods, what currency you use, maybe even anticipates what you need based on your past transactions.
It's like having a personal payment assistant.
Exactly. And I think we'll see more of what they call invisible payments.
Invisible payments.
Yeah, like when you use a ride-sharing app, you order the ride, you get to your destination, and the payment just happens automatically in the background.
No more digging at your card. It's kind of magical.
You're right. And I think that ease, that invisibility, it's going to spread to other areas of our lives. Groceries, online orders, even paying bills.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, what about security? All these automated payments happening behind the scenes, doesn't that make you a little nervous?
It's definitely something to think about, but that's where things like biometrics, AI, and blockchain come in.
Okay.
Those technologies are going to be super important for making sure invisible payments are safe.
So it's not just about making payments disappear. It's about making them disappear securely.
Exactly. Security has to be a top priority.
This is all really fascinating. Who knew payments could be so, interesting?
It's really a testament to how powerful innovation can be. And it shows how important it is to design these systems with people in mind, making things easy to use, but also prioritizing security and well-being.
Building a financial system that works for us, not against us.
Exactly.
It's a pretty amazing vision for the future, right? But the article does point out that there are some potential downsides to all this.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like if we rely too much on automation, We could lose some flexibility in the system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what happens when there's a glitch, or something that actually needs a human to step in?
That's a good point. It's like with self-driving cars. The tech is impressive, but we still need humans to be ready to take over if something goes wrong.
Exactly. And what about security? You were talking about all these advancements in biometrics and AI and blockchain, but are they really ready to handle, a fully invisible payment system?
Security is definitely like the most important thing here. And while those technologies are super promising, we can't just stop there. We've got to keep investing in research, always trying to stay one step ahead of the bad guys.
So it's like an ongoing race.
Exactly. As payments evolve, so do the ways people try to exploit them.
The article also talked about how collaboration is key to making all of this work.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's not something that one company can figure out on its own, right?
Absolutely not. It takes everyone working together. Banks, payment processors, tech companies, regulators, they all need to be on the same page.
It's like an orchestra. All the different instruments need to be in sync to make beautiful music.
I like that analogy.
And speaking of beautiful things, the article highlighted all these positive ripple effects of predictable payments, like stronger relationships between businesses and their suppliers.
Right, because when payments are consistent, it builds trust.
Exactly. Suppliers are more likely to give you better deals when they know they can count on you.
And they're more likely to go above and beyond to help you out when you need it. It's a win-win.
Totally. And then there's the impact on decision-making, right? For SMBs, when they're not stressed about cash flow, they can actually focus on the big picture.
Absolutely. It frees them up to make bolder moves, invest in new opportunities, take more risks.
It's like taking off the handbrake.
Exactly. They can finally put the pedal to the metal.
And that brings us to one of the most exciting things about all of this, which is the potential to level the playing field.
Yes.
For so long, smaller businesses have been at a disadvantage.
Competing with those big corporations is tough.
Exactly. But predictable payments could really change that dynamic. Give SMBs a fighting chance.
A more fair and competitive marketplace.
Exactly. And that's something worth striving for.
Absolutely. It's about moving beyond just moving money around. It's about actually empowering businesses to thrive.
I love that. This whole conversation has been so eye-opening. Who knew payments could be so fascinating?
It's amazing what you discover when you really start digging into a topic, right?
Totally. It's clear that we're on the verge of a massive shift in how we think about and interact with money. And I'm really excited to see where it all goes.
Me too. It's a really exciting time for payments.
Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive into the world of predictable payments. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And be sure to tune in next time when we'll be exploring a whole new topic. Until then, keep those payments flowing smoothly. We'll catch you on our next adventure.